Hey, what's happening, guys? It is the 14th of March. I'm back from New Zealand, left on the 1st. Interesting, I was a day ahead by 20 hours. So kind of what more or less in the future, if you will. And it wasn't real hard to get into the groove of the time and stay within my wake up time. Go to bed at 9, wake up at 4 a.m. is kind of how I was doing it out there. I was hunting out there. There's an amazing amount of private land. We're talking about tracts of 40-50,000 acres, and it's all mountainous terrain. Really, really, really awesome experience. Got to see a lot of crazy country. But going into that country, and you're talking about what we were hunting, you look this up. It's called the bull tar. A lot of my buddies, they were after the red stag, and then there's a whole bunch of other things. There's a whole bunch of things that we did, a whole bunch of things we hunted, but the tar was the toughest one. That thing spends its life in the Himalayas, which is, Mount Everest. A goat that goes around on Mount Everest is a pretty sturdy animal. You got to go into his environment, hunt him down. And I'm going to go into the details of all that, but it took me about 4 days of climbing extremely steep terrain, steepest terrain I've ever been on, to finally be successful in this hunt. And it was crazy. And then not only are you successful, getting up to where they're at, and you spot them, you got to haul, and it's straight up for thousands of feet. Then you've got to do what you're doing, you're there for. Then you got to pack it all down. Going down sucks just with what you carried up. Sucks way more with another 80 pounds on you, because we're talking about terrain like that. I'm not kidding you. Some of the places I had to go down were as steep as putting the ladder against my house. That's not a joke, for several hundred feet. Made it out of there safe. Everything is destroyed physically because of all that, but it was awesome. I had a phenomenal time. Just go the entire time we were there. So now I'm back into things, and everything's still operational. I mean, I was literally pretty much just kind of out of it. Was not really in contact with much of anybody while I was gone. And the thing about that is awesome about that, for me to disappear for 2 weeks into the mountains of New Zealand to go hunting and not worry about anything, is because I have an amazingly badass team. If you want to get into real estate investing, or if you want to expand your real estate investing, you're looking around, you got to determine what you're looking for, or who you're going to work with. I'm going to tell you, you want a badass team. You want to be able to move forward and not think about certain things. You don't not have to worry about, do I have to be involved in that? On the financing side, it is the most difficult part. But if you're just shopping around trying to find the cheapest sumbitch out there, you ain't got the most badass people out there, you're going to have to worry about it. You're going to have to be really heavily involved in it. You have to do stuff that you probably wouldn't have to if you had some badasses behind you, where you could focus elsewhere. I was able to focus elsewhere. I came back and everything is operational. You want badasses on your team. I can hand them to you. All you got to is make the call. All you got to do is reach out to us, aaron.chapman.com. That's it. Give me an email. Most of you have in fact, if you're getting this message, you already have my damn email. You will have a badass team at your disposal to do the toughest part for you, so you can focus on the other stuff. So let's get into the markets real quick, see what's going on while I was gone. Pretty wild stuff. All right, so we had a downward channel that I'd previously drawn. I'm just going to go ahead and just put one line in here to kind of represent it. And this was that downward channel that we were watching, because it was just taking us down. And then we broke out of it, started going sideways. Now we're out of that sideways channel. Still a lot of volatility, but we broke through a lot of the points that I'd laid out before that were resistance, now became support. So you can see we broke through this little one that we were trying to break through, couldn't get between this little tiny gap, these two resistance lines. We got through that, busted through it, broke through it, and kept going through moving averages. But now, because the inflation numbers that had come out, inflation came out recently, and it was talked about, it was better, but the CPI is not as good as they want it to be. And because of all these readings, we got massive volatility. Look at these massive swings. We have actually, in some places, some of the places we get mortgage data from, or at least rates from, that we sell loans to, they weren't even releasing them. So some of our pricing looked way off because they weren't releasing rates because of the volatility. They're kind of holding still. You also had the volatility that was going on with respect to those banks that are failing. That's causing us some problems in the market. So don't get too excited about what's going on here as far as who's got what rate available right now. It's just lock if it seems reasonable, protect yourself. If you see somebody out there who's got something just ungodly stupid low, then fine, grab it, lock that thing in. But again, you got to remember what team you're working with. You don't know. You know how things are going to work when things go sideways. So keep in contact with us. Reach out to us if there's anything we can do for you. Good to be back. Love to share more stories. If you're interested, give me a call, set some time up. We'll chat. Talk to you very soon.